Hello, 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 everyone. Happy, Merry New Year's Eve. Or New Year's if you're watching this on New Year's. Or beyond New Year's if you're watching this in like June of 2024. That's randomly specific. But yes, today is the day. I am full of jalapeno poppers and Red Bull, so like we're gonna do the thing. We are going to flip through all 30 of my binders, most of which are Ateeeeeeez, but y'all knew that. So yes, we don't have time to dilly-dally. Let's just get into it. All right, we're gonna start with the girlies because ladies first. And I will also be going through and answering all of you guys' questions. I was so surprised that like I got this many questions. I do this every year and usually I get like 7, maybe 12 questions. And so like I have questions that from my post on my Instagram, and also you guys left questions for me on my actual post. So first of all, thank you. You're gonna make this like significantly less painful. But yes, without further ado, let's flip through my girly group. So before I start answering you guys' questions, I will just like tell you what I will not. Oh my god, that's so crooked. Edgy. Not my edgy. I will tell you what I won't be answering in this video, and that is because those questions will be getting their own video in the new year that I will film for you guys, because a lot of you actually ended up being curious about like similar things. So I was like, okay, well, you know, if a whole 3 people care, then I'll do it. So that's going to be like collections I'm picking up, collections I am dropping, collections I'm modifying. All of those questions will be answered in that video. So if I skip your question, it's not because I personally hate you, okay? You're not being personally victimized. I wish I could find this swan. That's not, that wasn't part of the announcements, but like every time I see this spot, I'm like, please give me pencil swan. Like I've tried to buy her, I am not kidding, 7 times, and either like the seller ghosts or it gets sold or my order gets canceled. And I'm just like, please give me my girl. Anyway, rant over. So yeah, I won't be answering like collection goals, collection updates, just because I plan on making so many changes next year. And next year meaning tomorrow. Like, my collection is not gonna look like this literally 24 hours from now. Like I'm gonna make so many changes, but we're doing the flip through nevertheless. So yeah, so if you asked a question pertaining to that, I won't be answering it in this video, so just know that. But you will be answered, just not in this particular video, because I'm also like not trying to be here for 27 hours, okay? Okay. All right, and we're done with the girlies. Okay, so we're gonna flip through my Cravity binder. Well, more like just Young Tae. I only collect Young Tae, but I will answer this first question. So it says, as an older collector, I have found myself recently struggling with thoughts of how much longer it's feasible to keep collecting. I understand if it doesn't hurt anyone else and you enjoy it, keep doing it, but a lot of people I trade with or buy from are half my age. What are your thoughts on this as another aging adult? Thank you for such great content. You're welcome. I enjoy watching your collection. So, Young Tae, so cute. I love him. I mean, I'm definitely on the side of if it's something you love doing, just keep doing it. Like, who cares? But okay, so let's be realistic. I don't think K-pop is like for only one age of people. That would be kind of ridiculous because first of all, if they're aimed at tweens don't have money. Like they can buy like 3 albums a year with their pocket change. Like what is that? I think although K-pop definitely started off as something that was kind of like aimed as teenagers to give them something to do, with the spread of it going international, I don't really think that's the case anymore. Like especially because like, yes, a lot of like K-poppies are on the younger side, depending on the fandom, honestly. Cause like Monsta X Monbebe. Monbebe is a hag fandom, and I say that with absolute love, and also as a fellow hag. We're a hag fandom. Like, I hardly ever see like a 15-year-old Monbebe. Like, also, if they are 15, they should not be on Monbebe Twitter. Good God. Good God. Don't do it. So I honestly think it like just depends on the fandom, like what age they are. There's just a whole slew of pages in there. We're just gonna ignore that. But yeah, I don't really think it's for one specific like age group. And even so, it's like, okay, some of these K-pop men and women are like 35. So like, how is it weird for like a 35-year-old? You're not 35, but like, you know, we're getting up there. How would it be weird for us when we hit 35 to like other 35-year-old people who are performers? Like, what? That doesn't make sense to me. At the end of the day, K-pop artists are artists, and it's like nobody would question you liking Bruno Mars just because you like hit 40. Like, what? So I don't think it should be different for K-pop. And I feel like creating divides like that will not really help K-pop move forward. So that's my answer. I'm not sure if that's helpful, but we're done with Youngtae. So, all right, next up, we're going to go through my boy group A5 binder. It just has a whole bunch of Tan and a little bit of TNX. And we're also going to answer questions from my Instagram. This one's my most recent one, but I will also answer questions from my previous Instagram one. I ask questions everywhere. I honestly didn't think I was going to get many questions. Okay, but like, did Terrell ever make it in time? I'm sorry to say he didn't, okay? Senna left with Brennan and they went to the bed and breakfast. But do you want to know what happened? When they got there, it turns out that the person running the bed and breakfast that Brennan booked was actually Terrell's mother. But Terrell's mother abandoned him back when he was a baby. She was in an abusive relationship, okay? Don't think too harshly of her. And she wanted to take Terrell, but like, Terrell's father was an awful man. Also, Terrell's a chibble. I need to stop. This is the Red Bull talking. So like, he was like, if you take my firstborn son, I swear to God, I will ruin your life. And she was like, Terrell, I love you, but I gotta go. So she moved to Vermont, opened up a bed and breakfast to support herself. And she's been thinking about Terrell every single day. But yeah, just coinkadinkly, that is the bread and breakfast that Brennan booked. So, you know, she just had like an inkling. She's like, wow, Senna really reminds me of my son. So she like treated him well. And then Senna was like, man, you really remind me of Terrell. And she was like, Terrell? Reindeer? Cute? And he was like, oh my God, you know him? That's all for this binder. We'll continue the next one. Next, we're going to flip through my Xikers kiddos. So yeah, they discovered that like they know each other through Terrell. And so Senna ended up calling Terrell and was like, hey, this is where we're at. I found your mom. And he was like, you found my mother who abandoned me? And of course he was angry because like he thought his mother abandoned him and like didn't love him, but she did. And so they reconnected. They had a beautiful family moment. And then like Senna seeing Terrell with his mom just like melted his heart. And he was like, Brennan, you're such a lovely person. And I'm sure that somebody out there is going to love you to bits and pieces, but like, it ain't me, fam. Senna's from the streets, okay? And so in the end, he decided that he wanted to make it work with Terrell. So although Terrell didn't technically make it in time, because like he got botulism from the potato salad. It was terrible. Y'all should have seen him. He was oof. He did end up getting Senna and winning Senna's heart, and they talked it out and they had beautiful communication. And Brennan went home and he cried a little bit. He had some ice cream, but then he met a cute snowman at the ice cream shop. So like, we'll see where that goes. I think he could be cute with a little snowman boo. Like, anyway. I'm so much. Oh, I think this Xikers binder is gonna be done. Like, I think we're done in here. Besides this, we gotta work on this, but like, I don't think you'll see too much more of this binder in 2024. So anyway, all right, so this is my Xikers acrylic binder where I keep, oh goodness, I love this binder, but like also it kind of scares me a little. This is where I keep my Minjae and Junmin broadcast cards, POBs I collect of just the two of them, and such and so forth. Somebody asked me milk or cereal first, like, obviously cereal. I'm crazy, but I'm not a psycho. Oh, I really love this binder. Oh, it's like one of the binders that like doesn't grow a whole lot, but when it does, I really love it. I love every single card in here. So friggin' cute. My babies. I don't know what I'm gonna do when they don't have their cute little baby cheeks. Hunter's already out here taking his clothes off. I don't. Oh, okay. My Xikers larger inclusions binder. I bought this binder for Ateeeeeeeez, but like they literally Ateeeeeeeez outgrew it immediately. Like it lasted for one storing, and then I was like, well. So yeah, I love it because it's zippered and I just feel like it's more secure and such. But anyway, so somebody asks me, what do I do with all of the extra albums I get? So here we have a store called Half Price Books, and that is where the majority of my albums end up because they like buy like CDs, books, albums, such and so forth. This Polaroid. So like I honestly just like store up a bunch of albums that I buy in my house, and then I will just go take them to Half Price Books all in one go. And like I usually get like $1.50 to $2 per album, but like since I have so many, that really adds up. So like I can walk out of there with like getting rid of all of my extra albums, with them, you know, probably going to good homes because they'll, you know, be resold and such to people that want them. And like I will then have like $170 for free. Well, it's not for free because I bought all those albums, but like still. So I will honestly just take them there and just sell them like that. I just find it easier because since fan signs are so prevalent now, it is really hard to sell physical albums. I'm not super duper creative. I try, but like physical art, she's not my forte. Digital art, I can put a little something together. Physical art, not really my forte. I have none of the group postcards, but we move. So I will just do that. Sometimes I will try to collage, but it does not go well when I do. So that's what I do with all of my albums. Y'all should look into your stores that like buy CDs and stuff and like do that. All right, now we're gonna go through my Monsta X collection, starting with my little A5, which is rather empty now that I have like taken everything out of it. But yes, oh, I'm still missing so much older stuff. But somebody asked me, do you ever get FOMO when you're collecting? If so, how do you deal with it? I love your videos. Happy holidays. Hello, happy holidays. Happy New Year. I feel like that's the whole of K-pop. It's just the fear of missing out on stuff. They're like, oh, if I don't go to this concert and like something amazing happens, like I will have missed out. If I don't buy this album and I don't get this pub, I will have missed out. I think that's genuinely like the whole of K-pop. That's how K-pop thrives, is that like people fear missing out on something and not being in the loop on something. And so like we're all just out here. But as for me personally, Yes, absolutely. Not so much with most of my collections except for Ateeeeeeez. And really specifically Hongjoong. Like, I love watching other Ateeeeeeeeez collectors. I, in fact, watch all of them. Always, forever. This is my Monsta X A4. Every time I look at it. Anyway, but like, I feel a certain type of crazy, and I do mean crazy, when I find that like a different collector, specifically Ateeeeeeeeez collector, has a Hongjoong card that I do not have. And it's not even like it happens very often because I wouldn't consider myself like a thorough Hongjoong collector yet. I'm working on it, but like when I do happen to come across a card that I do not have, I am insanely like jealous, and I'm just like, I missed out. I hate everything. I get so crazy, and then I like go look for it, and it's always expensive. It's always like $500 or something, and I'm like, shot. No. So like very much so with Hongjoong, I'm just like, I missed out because although I did stan Ateeeeeeez, I guess you could say, from like their second album, I didn't actually start collecting Ateeeeeeeez until Fever Part 1, and not even at the beginning of Fever Part 1. I did like pre-order an album, but I just got one set and I was like, okay, well, that's it. And I just like kept my pulls in the album for the longest time. Like, I didn't start collecting until like after Fever 1 had already ended, and then yeah. So very, I would say, late to the game, and by that point like Treasure like had already ended and was like already like having issues with like going out of stock and people fearing that it was going to go out of print because random sleep. Okay, I swear my Monsta X collection is still sleeves. So crazy. But yeah, it was hard to find Ateeeeeeez albums in stock, and people thought they were going to go out of print because KQ and, you know, Ateeeeeeez was so small. We're still pretty small, but way bigger than we were, like way bigger. And so like trying to back collect Treasure era, even during Fever 1, was like, But yeah, so fear of missing out is like a very big thing because sometimes you really can miss out, and then cards are $1,000. So kind of valid. I forgot that I literally never got this from Enyhpen. I haven't been back here in forever. Oh my gosh, the memories. All right, so this is my Monsta X larger inclusions binder. Yes, there was larger inclusions in that other binder, but those are different than the larger inclusions in this binder. So somebody asked me, what is my favorite musical sound within K-pop? I always say that K-pop has a bunch of different genres beneath it. Hype music, noise music, rock influence, songs like TXT, R&B like Baekhyun, which is my personal favorite. So I am definitely, for sure, without a shadow of a doubt, an R&B girly. What's funny is that like I bought a Monsta X album before I knew that they were a K-pop group. Like their All About Love album used to play in Target all the time, and I was just like, wow, this song is a banger. Like, who are they? I dead ass thought they were an American group. So I like bought their All About Love album, not even knowing anything about versions, not knowing anything about photocards. So like I pulled like a Hyungwon and a Taemin from that album, and I was just like, what is this little card? What is this? And I just kept it in the album for the longest time. Sorry, my loud ass air conditioner came on. I don't know what I was saying, but I love Monsta X, English album, 12 out of 10. Didn't know it was K-pop. I didn't find out they were K-pop until like Fatal Love. It took a long time. But it's okay. We got there. It's cool. But yeah, oh yeah, we were talking about R&B. Yeah, no, Baekhyun is my favorite vocalist. Not even just in K-pop, just in general. I just love that man's voice. But other than him, I listen to like a lot of R&B things, particularly Dean, because I love Dean and I will never not love Dean. And if y'all see Dean, tell me immediately. He recently came back. He like came out of wherever he was hiding and dropped a fire ass song and then left again. I was like, Dean, please stay. Please stay, Dean. I'm sorry we laughed when you fell down the stairs. And I'm also sorry for laughing now. But it was really funny. This is why we can't have anything nice. Anyways, this has been my Monsta X larger inclusions by Minya. Oof. Anyway, okay, yeah. Okay, speaking of EXO and Baekhyun, we can flip through the binder that houses EXO and just like my other older boy groups such as Hui, who's having a comeback and like he has lost his mind. There's like 60, 90. There's a lot. There's like a lot of PCs. And I'm like, Hui, have you lost your face? Like, no, just no. Anyway, so let's see. Somebody asked me, is there a group you feel like you should like on paper, but you just couldn't actually get into? So I think maybe Woods. I think like a lot of people have been like, Shy, have you heard of Woods? Have you checked out Woods? Have you seen Woods? And I have. I just never got into him. I don't know. I don't know what it is. By all accounts, like he should be like one of my favorite artists, but like I don't care for him or his music. No offense to the people that love Woods. Like, what are y'all, moods, I think? I watch a lot of like Woods collectors, people who also like collect Woods randomly. And like, y'all seem chill, but I just do not care for that man. I don't know what it is. Like, a lot of people who have like similar music tastes to me are like super into Woods, but like, I don't know. So like, I don't feel like I have a lot of artists where I would say that like, I definitely like would like them on paper and then I don't, but I think Woods would definitely fall under that category. Okay, so I'm trying to avoid all the Ateeeeeeeez questions until we get to the 50 trillion Ateeeeeeeez binders. But this person asked me, if I were a brand new collector today, is there anything that I would do differently? For sure. Absolutely. I think number one thing that I would do differently is not collect rookies. Like, the amount of times that I have picked up a rookie group for them to like change their sound entirely within like the first 2 comebacks is insane. Like, what happened to picking a sound and like going with it? So I definitely would not pick up any rookie groups. That would be number one, because like if I'm going to invest all of my time, effort, money, energy, I forgot this page was blank, but anyway, I want to know like what I'm getting into. Like, I want to know that they're going to have a somewhat consistent sound. I'm not saying like never make anything new ever, like no, but like EXO in particular, one of my absolute favorite groups musically, they have had like an EXO sound pretty much their whole career. Yes, there's like a few odd songs out where they like tried a different sound or whatever, but like for the most part, if EXO's having a comeback, I know what it's gonna sound like and I know I'm going to love it. And that still holds true to this day with Exist. I absolutely love Exist. I had no doubts in my mind that I was gonna love Exist. I pre-ordered Exist because I knew I was gonna love it and I knew I was gonna want all the photo cards. I just like that level of security. I'm just not a person who's like, oh, okay, we're debuting this R&B group. And then like the next comeback, they're doing bubblegum pop. Like, what? I'm sorry. Like, and nothing against bubblegum pop, but like, that's not really what I signed up for if I, bought albums for and decided to stan an R&B group. So I really don't collect rookies anymore. The exception to that was Xikers, which is the only group I picked up this year. If y'all notice, like, in 2022, I picked up a lot of groups. 2023, one. I learned my lesson with the rookies, which sucks because I love rookies. They're all just so sparkly-eyed and full of hope. And I love that. But the sound is just so inconsistent that I just am like, no, I'm not gonna even attempt to take a chance on that. So I'm not doing anything before they hit 3 albums. After 3 albums, if they still hold my attention and still have a consistent sound, I'll go ahead and pull the plug. But before that, no, absolutely not. Okay, so this is my binder where I keep the boys, specifically Kevin. We need a lot of work in 2024. How do you maintain your blinding beauty and collect Ateeeeeeeez? There isn't enough time. She's so cute. I love her so much. Rice. That's the answer. Rice.
Just one of the fans asked me, what did you eat to become so hot? So I was like, rice. Oh, rice.
This one is interesting. How do you decide your bias? Is there any collection you thought of dropping? I'll answer that first question. The second question will have to wait. So interestingly, I kind of have a bias curse. Without fail, if a person has this star sign, I know it sounds like hooey already. I know some people don't believe in astrology, whatever. But there's a grain of salt there. We just aren't advanced enough to figure it all out. Okay. If that person is a Scorpio, I will likely bias them unconsciously, not unconsciously, subconsciously, maybe unconsciously. I don't know. It happens every single time. How I choose my bias is I will just watch content. I choose my bias very naturally. It's not I go down a checklist and be okay, well, they have to be 5'7" and, be blonde on a Tuesday. No. I just watch a group's content. I watch how they interact with each other and their fans and everything like that. And I just choose my bias from that. For no reason at all, almost 9 times out of 10, the person I choose will be a Scorpio. I don't know I don't know how that happens. To give an example, Dean, Scorpio. Hongjoong, Scorpio. Tomla, Scorpio. Oh my gosh. Almost every single one of my biases is a Scorpio. I do collect Kevin, but I also kind of double bias Kevin with Q. I just don't collect Q anymore because I don't have the level of dedication needed to collect 2 members. So I honestly just chose Kevin because he's cheaper and easier and I love him all the same. But Q, Scorpio, I don't know how it happens. I really don't. I don't look up their birthdays beforehand, although with the way the K-pop is, I probably should. I am just drawn to Scorpio energy. My best friend, who I love and adore, Scorpio. I didn't just magically find her. I don't know what it is. If y'all can explain it to me and how I have a Scorpio curse, please do. But almost all of my biases are Scorpios. I don't choose for it to be that way. It's just something I can pick up on. I haven't really figured out how, but I can. Like, anyway. So that's how I choose a bias. What about you? I've also like never met another person that like has that kind of a curse. You know? It's odd. It's weird. It's weird. I forgot that I was missing these books. But that's a problem for another day. I collected so much for Thrill Ride. I freaking love Thrill Ride still to this day. I love Thrill Ride to this day. I really wanted to collect Q, but like, I got scammed too much. I got scammed way too much in this community. I can't do it. No, ma'am. If you don't have a trustworthy GOM, you have nothing. You have nothing in life. Not in life. That's harsh. That's harsh. But yeah, I collect Kevin and I love him all the same. Would I rather collect Kevin and Q? Very much so, but we move, we stand, we live. Okay, so this is my younger boy group binders. This is where I put all of my rookies after they were like no longer officially rookies, which is I think like 2 years or something. They're no longer considered rookies. So this is where I keep all of them. Also, I was thinking about it while I was grabbing this binder, and like my GOT7 bias, Yugyeom, Scorpio, my Aespa bias, Ning Ning, Scorpio, like I don't know what it is. I don't know, but anyways, yes, I love this set so much. Like, this is of like my non-Ateeeeeeez cards. Somebody asked me like, what's my favorite non-Ateeeeeeez cards? Anything where they have a crown. I just love it. This set in particular is one of my absolute faves. But anyways, oh, this one is related. What's your astrological sign? I'm an Aries. I have the same birthday as Park Sung-hwa, April 3rd. We're both Aries. So is Yuno, actually. But I feel like Yuno is definitely more Aries energy than Hwa. Like, Hwa is so kind and gentle. Meanwhile, me and Yuno are just aggressive. Favorite thing about math? That it adds up. I love that. Like, it just makes sense. It adds up. Let's see. Okay, there's like 4 questions about how, when, and why I got into K-pop, how I started collecting. So we'll go into that. So, like I said with Monsta X, like I guess got into K-pop kind of then. Okay, but like before then, like my very first interaction with K-pop was at a Best Buy. I was dropping off a UPS package at a Best Buy. So yeah, I was in Best Buy and I was wearing my favorite Gengar beanie because I love Gengar. I absolutely love that Pokemon. It's my favorite. And like the cashier person was like, "Are you a BTS stan?" And I was like, "No." Like I had heard of BTS because that was back when they had like taken over the Western frontier wherever, and so like they were everywhere, but I didn't really care too much to like look into them. And now somebody called me. It's like they don't know I'm trying to film continuously for 6 hours. Anyway, so yes, they thought like, because now I understand it's because my beanie is purple and that's like BTS's color, that's why they were like, I wonder if that person was a K-poppy. Anyway, so I was like, no, this is a Gengar. Like, what are you talking about? But after that, I decided to go home and like look up BTS on the interwebs. I was like, what is this thing that people keep talking about and how am I somehow associated with them? So I looked it up and no lie, I really thought they were like 12. I'm not kidding. I was like, how are these children allowed to do this? I was like, what is going on here? So I watched like pretty much all of their music videos and I was just like, well, I guess K-pop isn't for me. I was like, no. So I pretty much just left it at that. And then I am a person who like leaves their YouTube on autoplay. Like I have my YouTube up on my TV all the time. And so I just have it on autoplay, so it just plays what it thinks I'll like. And sometimes I like it and sometimes I don't, but I can't be bothered to change it. So because I had watched all of BTS's music videos, my algorithm was like, hey, so you like K-pop now? And so like out of nowhere, I was folding laundry and autoplay comes on and it is EXO. And like, I'm not even kidding. The moment I laid eyes on Kai, I was like, who is this man? No, who is this man? It was like some sort of weird compilation thing. And like, it's so weird because Kai was like wearing a shirt that like said EXO on the sleeve. It is the only reason I was able to find him. And I have never been like able to find that clip ever again. I don't know, like it was like a live concert that somebody filmed and it was like outdoors and he was wearing this white shirt and it had like EXO on the sleeve. And so I just looked up EXO. Like that could have been like the brand of the clothing. I don't know. I was just like, I don't know. His shirt said EXO. So like I looked up EXO and like fell in love hard. I was like, this is also K-pop? Like what? And so yeah, that's how I became a K-poppy. And I listened to EXO for years before I even bothered to listen to any other group. And I honestly thought I was just going to be an XOL until the like end of my days. I didn't think I was ever going to even stan any other groups because I thought they were all going to be more like BTS. And I was like, nah fam. Again, no offense. We all love who we love. They're just not for me. So yeah, but of course that good old magical algorithm was like, oh, now you're a real K-poppy. Have some Ateeeeeeez. And like, as soon as they showed me Holla Holla, I was done. I was over with. I was gone. I was deceased. That was it for me. But I didn't actually start collecting until Super M. And I only went into Super M because of Baekhyun and Kai being in Super M. So I was, I was one of the demographics that they were targeting to like crossover. And then I ended up falling in love with 10. It's a whole spiral. But yeah, I went for the Baekhyun and Kai and came out ulting 10. And because like the Froggy Baekhyun card, like the first Super M album, I bought one, but like I didn't buy it to collect anything. I just bought it to own a Super M album because I loved it. But the Froggy Baekhyun card, the capitalism of that card got me to collect K-pop. I bought so many albums to buy to get that card. Like, speaking of, somebody asked me what my favorite non-Ateeeeeeez photo card is. It is still this card. I love this Froggy Baekhyun card so much. I still love him to this day. So this card, he's my favorite non-Ateeeeeeez card. Okay, so next up, we'll go through my NCT binder, which I recently consolidated so that 10 is in here, but like now it's real full. We're gonna have to make choices and decisions in the coming year about NCT. But anyways, somebody also asked me, what do I think about CIX and have I checked them out? I feel like they are also a group that like I would like on paper, but I don't. I have checked out CIX and their music and what's that other little baby group? I can't think of them. They have good lore though. I can't think of them. If I figure it out, I'll put like their name on the screen. Them too. Seems like I would like them on paper, but like, no. But just no. And it's not even like I don't like their music or anything like that. I just don't click with them. Like all of the groups that I collect, stan, and such and so forth, I really just kind of click with. And it's not really something that can be explained. When you vibe, you vibe. And sometimes I just don't vibe with the group, but that's okay. We don't have to vibe with everybody. I still don't know what I'm gonna put here. Fun. So this person asked me, what made you decide to collect in the first place? And did you expect your collection to get so big? No. No, I did not ever expect my collection to be going 31. we don't talk about the 31st binder. 30 binders deep. I did not expect that ever. But yeah, definitely Froggy Baekhyun. I didn't even collect photo cards, but I wanted that card like that. I was like, I will buy all of the albums to get it. And like, it was because at that point, you know, again, Baekhyun and Kai, anything with Baekhyun and Kai is going to get me. But then, you know, I fell in love with 10, Chitapon Li Tayapon Ko. Like, I love this boy so very much. And I fell in love with the rest of NCT. Because, you know, watching WayV content, then the algorithm was like, oh, then you'll like NCT. And then around that time, I think, oh God, what was it? Kick It? Cherry Bomb. It was somewhere around Cherry Bomb to Kick It area that I got into NCT, which was honestly, that was the true golden age of NCT. Like, come on now, Cherry Bomb era? Oh, one of my favorites still. So yeah, that's how I got into it. SM's plan worked. The ploy worked. They got me. Through Super M. Genius, honestly. But the way they let Super M fall through the cracks, sad. But yeah, so it was literally that one card that caused me to spiral, because at that point I had already bought Ateeeeeeeez albums, and I just and a couple of other albums, but I just kept my photo cards in the albums because I didn't understand the point of photo cards. Coming from me, that's so laughable now. Like, wow. This is also such a cute, all of Taeyong's. Where's his other one? Taeyong. I have a weakness for cute things. But anyway, so yeah, it was Baekhyun. Baekhyun started this spiral. Let's blame him. Let's all blame him. But yeah, from that point on, then I got right after Super M, you know, did Super 1 and then never came back again. Ateeeeeeez Fever Part 2 came out, and somebody asked me when I became a GOM and what prompted me to become a GOM. Fever Part 2 era, I'm sorry. I said I wasn't going to talk about Ateeeeeeez until we got to Ateeeeeeez, but everything leads back to Ateeeeeeeez. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, so Fever Part 2 era was actually the first era that we had that had guaranteed pop sets. Before then, if you bought 8 albums, you could get 8 Unos. And people did. And people were so upset about it. So we didn't have member claims and, you know, like we do today. It was we signed up for a store and whatever we got is whatever we got. There was no guaranteed sets like they do now. So Fever Part 2 was the first era that had guaranteed sets, and it shook the K-pop world. And I think that's why a lot of groups do that now, where oh, if you buy, you know, the number of members, we'll give you for sure all of the members, is because, you know, it worked so well. Ateeeeeeeez came out in droves for that. And so, not to say that AT started it, I don't actually know what group started it, but I do know after that era of Ateeeeeeez, I saw it with a lot more groups. So I'm not trying to be out here Ateeeeeeez paved the way, calm it down. But yeah, so I decided to become a GOM in Fever Part 2 era because I was oh my gosh, guys, if we order together, then we can get all the members, and I specifically can get Hongjoong. I became a GOM for Hongjoong, and I am still a GOM for Hongjoong, so that's life. So yeah, that is why I became a GOM in the first place, was because they started guaranteeing member sets. Now it's just too many pops in general, even if they're guaranteeing sets, and then with them kind of going back and not guaranteeing sets anymore, it's become a mess, and people are upset, and they don't know the dark days of sorting. Okay, it was we're doing sorting and we have 1 San and 15 Sunghwa, so if you want that sign, you better come out here. You gotta be number 1. If you're not first, you're last. But yeah, so that's why I became a golem. I don't really host for like album stuff anymore because it's stressful. Stresses me out. It's too much. But yeah, I do merch. I love merch. Merch is easy for me. I know merch stresses out like my album golems. They're like, I can't with a merch. Everything's a different size and I don't know what anything is. So yeah, we all have our strong suits, but yeah, that's why I became a golem. That's how I started collecting. Everything leads back to Ateeeeeeeez and capitalism. Okay, now we will go through my NCT larger inclusions binder. This person's so sweet. They're just like, how are you these days? I hope you're good. I love your vids and I wish you a blessed Christmas season. Same to you, all of the well wishes in the world. Thank you for sending me a question. I'm well for now. I am a tax accountant, if you don't know. And so this is like the calm before the storm, but come January, I'm going to be wanting to pull my hair out because personal taxes are filed in April and then business taxes are generally filed in October. I say generally because like there's always like extensions and sometimes they move the deadline because the IRS is the IRS and they do what they want, honestly. But yeah, so for right now, before we hit January 1st, I'm good. Thank you for asking. So this person asked me, what are my 3 degrees and what 3 languages do I speak and how did you learn each language? And have you ever been to South Korea? What manga or anime do you like? Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot of questions. Okay, let me start from the top. Okay, so yes, I do have 3 whole college university degrees. I did not set out for that. That's not what happened. So my first degree and the only degree I actually wanted was in accounting. I have wanted to be an accountant since I was a baby child. I used to ask for calculators for my birthday, specifically pink calculators. I am who I am. I've always been who I am. But like the like career counselor, the guidance person, the person who manages your degree and tells you if you're like on track or whatnot, y'all know that person. She was like, wow, you're doing so well with just a few extra credits. You could have a finance degree. And I was like chilling back then. I've always been a person who doesn't find formal education super duper hard. Like it's not like too much for me. I know like some people struggle with formal education. That's like not their forte. I'm not that person. I do good with formal education, and structure and, you know, things like that. So I didn't have a problem with it. I was like, sure, make me a double major. Yeah. And like literally a year after that, that same guidance counselor, I went back because you have to like go annually to like do your degree check and make sure you're on track to graduate and all of these things. Went to her like a year later and she's like, oh my gosh, you're still doing so well. And I'm like, girl, you're saying that like you want me to not do well. Like, why are you saying it like that? And she was like, with just a few more classes, you could have a business degree. And I was like, I don't really want a business degree. She's like, well, just take a couple classes and see how you like it. She tricked me. I was tricked. And so that is how I became a literal triple major, taking 16 credit hours. Like, insanity. But I will say that I was really, really blessed because I didn't have to pay for any of it. Because my, grades and extracurriculars in high school were, enough. I thankfully did not have to pay for the majority of my schooling. So for like the first 5 years, I didn't pay for anything. I didn't pay for books. I didn't pay for tuition. I didn't pay for transportation costs, like scholarships and grants and everything covered all of that. So like I was good. I just had to show up to class and pass, really. So I'm really, really blessed. I only had to pay for my 6th year and like that year was expensive. Good God. But like, I definitely didn't come out of university with like a ton of debt, like a lot of people do. So like, I am definitely counting my blessings that like, I didn't have to go into debt for my education because I know a lot of people do. But yeah, that's how I ended up being a triple major and then graduating with 3 degrees. I did have to quit my job at that last semester. Like, I was so stressed and I was like having panic attacks. It was hard. Like, don't get me wrong. It did get hard at the end. And I literally just had to quit my job and study all day and all night, but I made it. And now I'm just traumatized. So, you know, trade-offs. Oh, that only answered the first part of the question. But anyway. All right, so this is my TXT binder. This cover makes no sense. I've just never made TXT a formal cover. I didn't honestly think I would collect TXT this long. I thought I would give up by now, but here we are. Anyway, so to answer the second part of that question, so I obviously speak English pretty well. Not great, but like pretty well. I also did study Japanese for 5 years. Do I speak it well? No, but can I read and write Japanese well? Yes, actually. And then I ended up picking up Korean because I love Hangul. I really, really do. It is just, I'm a very, like, I love calligraphy. That's also a non-K-pop hobby that I have, is calligraphy. So I just love the way that Hangul is written. Like, I love the Korean language when it's written. King Sejong, he really did something on that. So I ended up picking up Korean so that I could learn to read their writing system. And that's been a journey. Korean makes no sense. Whereas Japanese has very definite sounds, like, and it never changes. That is always how it is pronounced. Korean doesn't. They have what's called sound change rules, which means they just change how something is pronounced every other Tuesday when the full moon comes up and you've eaten a bowl of Rice Krispies. Like, it's so random. And like, the way that it is the way that it is explained is that they do it to make everything sound like flow. Like, when you're speaking, it's supposed to flow and sound melodic and things like that. But I'm like, you're just making life harder. And so that is also why there's like no official romanization of Korean. So like, Kihyun should be spelled like this, but this is how you spell Kihyun. These are not the same. And it's like, whether you spell it like this or like this, it sounds the same. So like, why do it? Why do anything? And so for a person like me who's very structured and like very definitive, it just frustrates me, to say the least. But it is a pretty fun language, and I'm enjoying being able to understand more of like what I'm watching, because I do obviously I watch a lot of Japanese media as well, but I also watch a lot of Korean media now, since I watch idol variety shows and things like that. So it's been really fun to like go back and rewatch things with like a new level of understanding. I understand a lot more of the jokes and I'm really living for it. So I honestly need to study Korean like more formally. I just need a formal setting. That is just how I learn best. But I have taught myself. I think honestly, Hangul is really easy to learn. The king, the great king, King Sejong, the great King Sejong, I forget his title. He made it so that like anybody could pick it up and learn it. And so like that part, yes, but it's like learning all of the sound. Speaking is a whole different thing. You could learn to like read Korean super easily. Speaking, different ball game. And honestly, you need a person to talk to be able to like get it right, because otherwise you'll just be saying things wrong for 6 years and then somebody's like, no, that's not how you say that. So like, I'm antisocial, and so that's good. That's a struggle, but I feel like in the future I might just like get a tutor and like have them fix my speaking. And for now I will just work on my handwriting, which is awful. I write like a second grader in Korean. It's real bad. But it's because I'm not used to how, you know, the characters are supposed to be placed on a page when it's not just like typed, because, you know, everything everything is digital, and I can like type in Korean just fine, but like when I write it, I'm like, oh yeah, this needs this amount of space to go here, and like, yeah, it just looks so ugly. It looks ugly. And I hate that. So I've been working on just writing in Korean more whenever I get the opportunity to like just kind of fix that. I might genuinely have to go get one of those like kindergartner books where they have to like trace out things, because like it's that bad. It's that bad. That's embarrassing to say, but it's so bad. Can you believe we only have 2 more binders that are not Ateeeeeeez? Insanity. So, continuing on with this person's question. What manga or anime do I like? So, I have been watching anime, no joke, since I was like 5 or 6. I am a Sailor Moon girly. I'm sure somebody like figured that out. But Sailor Moon, Pokemon, Digimon, they all got me. They got me so hard. So I very much am a child of Japanese media. I love everything Japan related. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. But as for manga, I do actually collect, I'm looking at it right now, like I can see it. I do collect fairy tale. I love fairy tale. Yes, I know it has glaring flaws, such as friendship always win. But like, what's wrong with friendship always winning? Okay, just let the friendship win. Dang. I also came up watching Dragon Ball, and then Dragon Ball Z, and then Dragon Ball Super. Love it. Love everything. Yes. Recently, I have been back in my dark magical girl era. So like Yuki Yuna is a hero. Breaks my heart. Breaks my heart every single time. Madoka, like, no, Madoka, come back. Don't go. Like, I love how I know what's gonna happen, and I'm still just like, don't do it. Yuna, don't do it. So yeah, I've been back in my like dark magical girl era. But other than that, I watch a lot of like slice of life things like Tonikawa, and like also a lot of BL. I read a lot of smut and I watch a lot of BL and GL, but there's like significantly less GL. Can we just like talk about that? Like, I would like equality in the L space. So yeah, I won't recommend smut because like I don't know how old y'all are. And also I'm not trying to like out myself in 4K, but anyways. Oh my gosh, speaking of this person, do you take responsibility for introducing me to Kim Ji-woong through that BL video? And thus and therefore causing me to ult and decide to fully collect him in like a week flat. I wish I could, bestie. I wish I could. I can't even take responsibility for myself for that. Like, freaking Jung. Like, oh, I aggressively love that man. I really wish I could collect him, but I cannot. I can't. No. Okay, so this is our last non-Ateeeeeez binder. This is my Enhypen non-album binder. Okay, and this person asked me, have you ever had moments where you've thought to yourself, I think about collecting or do collect too much, and how do I deal with those thoughts? I honestly don't ever think about it until I do things like this, which is why I only do this once a year. I, in fact, don't think I collect too much. I think I collect not enough. So, you know, say what you will about my personality. I'm like, this is not enough. I would love to collect more than this, but like, this is me limiting myself. I know, insane, but I would collect more, dead ass, if I had the space. Not even the money, just the space, but like my binder shelf, she very much has a limit. and we're pushing it. We're pushing it. So I don't really ever think like, you've collected too much. The only thing I would say is if like I am considering a new collection, I will think more about that, about like how much I would have to collect for them, what are the prices like, and like I'm just very thorough before I start a new collection. Unless it's rookies, which is why I don't collect them anymore. No more rookies. Like, no. Oh my gosh. Not this person asking me if I collect Park Sung-hwa. Of course not. No. What am I, insane? Collecting Park Sung-hwa. That would cost $5 trillion. Like, and I can't be taking on the U.S. national deficit for Park Sung-hwa, okay? This person is asking me, what do I think about Hyesung's mullet in the Sweet Venom music video? I love it. I love everything Hyesung does. That's my baby. That's also why I can't watch, survival shows? I can't watch survival shows. First of all, I've never watched Monsta X's survival show because, like, I would bawl. I would bawl my eyes out from, like, what I've heard and, like, the few clips that I've seen. Like, the way they hated Changyun. And, like, I get it. They're friends now. It's fine now. But, like, I can't go through that emotional turmoil. Okay, I can't do that. But yeah, I did watch Island. I think it was the first survival show I had ever watched. And yeah, Hyesung. My undying love of Hyesung came from that. But like, gosh, that show was hard. That show was hard. The way that they treated those poor children. Like, they were literal babies and they treated them like that. And I'm like, no, but like also I was invested, so I had to see it through. And that freaking announcer at the end, I swear to God, if I could punch him in his throat, I would. He's like, okay, and the next person is, and it was literally, I'm not joking, people timed it like 5 minutes before when he would like start the sentence and before he would actually say like who made it into the group. I was so annoyed. Like at one point I just stopped caring. I was like, whoever makes it, just spit it out, like get it on with. I dislike that man. I'm sure he was told to do that, but like, I dislike that man. Okay, so welcome to Ateeeeeeeez. Everything is going to be Ateeeeeeeez from here on out. So, Merry Ateeeeeeeez. Now I can answer all of the many Ateeeeeeeez questions. So like, several people asked me like, what made Hongjoong your bias? Who is your Ateeeeeeez bias? Bessie, I know that's you. You're in 4K. I know that's you. But yeah, so like a lot of people asked me like how Kim Hongjoong became my bias. This is not our treasure. Sorry, I started with the wrong binder. That was my original Ateeeeeeez binder. I used to just have one binder for Ateeeeeeeez, for everything, merch, everything. Can you believe it? Anyways, so I have put together this small video of like the representation of how I fell for Kim Hongjoong.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Did you enjoy it? So yes, Kim Hongjoong is my like bias in Ateeeeeeez, kind of. Honestly, I bias everybody in Ateeeeeeez. Like whenever I'm asked, honestly, OT8 is my bias. Every single member of Ateeeeeeez is my bias. I really miss when they did aesthetic backs. Oh my gosh. I do store my, well, I guess I did store my collection to make the backs aesthetic. So like if you see them just in a chaotic order, that is why. But yes, so that's how Hongjoong became my bias. that mullet flip and holla holla, it really got me. The man looks so good in a mullet. So good in a mullet. I wish I didn't have to store these sideways, but I do for the backs. Anyways. Oh, I skipped one. Somebody asked me, what are my thoughts on 17? No, thank you. Like in like a polite no thank you. I just don't like 17's music at all. I've never been part of the 17 agenda. I just, their music just does not sound good to me. I did like, there are like, okay, I say that, but there are like a few 17 songs that I do like, such as, Ulji Shipchiana. I love that song. Just Ulji Shipchiana. I love that song. I love it. And I do somehow have a 17 bias. It's Minghao, the 8. Me and like collecting people whose names are numbered. Not collecting. Whoa, no. Whoa. No. Not biasing people whose names are numbers. I bias the 8 and 17, 9 and Onlyoneof, 10 and NCT. Recently, a group just debuted, and I think there's somebody called One. I'm like, I just feel like he'll be my bias. I don't know. But yeah, I just don't like 17's music, but honestly, their content looks so fire. So fire. That I kind of want to watch it sometimes, but like I won't let the 17 agenda win. I won't. So I never do. I never watch it. My proudest collection, definitely my Ateeeeeeeez collection. And it's simply because I put the most time, effort, care, love, patience into it. And so like, I feel like it shows. Look how aesthetically. This is why I started storing my cards. Somebody was like, why do you store your cards like this with Hongjoong on the edge and then San and then Jongho? It's because they used to make this. Like this used to be a thing. And so now it's just tradition that I store them like this. But like it was for a purpose. It was so aesthetic back when they, you know, had more effort backs on the photo cards. I'm sorry, but Ateeeeeeeez backs have gone downhill. Controversial opinion. Actually, I don't think it's controversial at all. Actually, I don't think people care. I think I'm the only one that cares. Anyway. Oh, somebody asked me why I don't consider myself a MOA. I'm not gonna say it, but like, look how aesthetic that is. It's because I'm scared of all hype fandoms. Okay, y'all honestly terrify me. Okay, like, I don't consider myself an engine either, even though I love Hyeosung and Enhypen, because I'm scared of that fandom. Like, the levels of racism that I have seen, anytime anything happens, even if it's not even related to Black people, somehow, me and my people always get dragged in, and I'm like, I'm not here for it. So yeah, no, I'm not a part of any hype fandom, because y'all got to get it together. Okay? And I am not at all saying that everybody who stands a hype group is like racist. Like, obviously not. But like, I'm not a person who can just be in a fandom and feel unsafe at any point. Like, no. Not knowing like if I'm going to interact with somebody and then get called a racial slur for no reason. Like, no, absolutely not. And I feel sorry for, you know, the other people who are in fandoms, like even if they're not Black people, that they still have to like be around that, because it's terrible. So that's why I'm not a MOA. I'm not an engine. Like, I stay away from all hype fandoms. That's just what it is. So this is my second Ateeeeeeez album card binder. I recently made this collage, but I hate it. So that's a fun development. So this starts Movement. The first binder was Treasure and Fever era. So this is all of Movement era. And she's making you know, this sign. She's like the greater than sign. So really this needs to be upgraded to a 3-inch, but like, I was really hoping she would make it. But anyways, somebody asked me what's my hardest group to collect. I would say Tan is the hardest to collect, and it's not because they're expensive. To me, what makes a group hard to collect isn't necessarily if they're an expensive group, because like in my brain you can always like trade, you can always like find things on a good deal with like collection dropping, or sometimes you'll just find somebody selling something for cheap. Like if the card exists, you can always buy it in your price range, I think, eventually. But like I just genuinely can't find Tan's cards ever, and I can't ever trade for their cards. They're just so like less popular. I don't want to say unpopular, but like they're so less popular that like I don't think they have a lot of collectors, and so I don't have anybody to trade with or buy from. So I think Tan is honestly the hardest group that I've ever encountered collecting, but like I'm not giving up on Jaejoon, so I just take it slow. I buy what I can, and like I'm still having a good time. Like I'm really not stressed about it, even if I can't find everything. I think for Ateeeeeeez, I very much stress about not being able to find things, but for everybody else, I'm like, it's fine. I'll find it or I won't, and it'll be good. I'll work with what I have. Have I ever thought about stopping collecting photo cards? No. If I did, if I did stop, it would probably be when Ateeeeeeez stops. Like, when Ateeeeeeeez stops, I'll stop. But until then, you know, here we are. So when they retire, we'll revisit this, and if I'll still collect and things. I don't know who I will even collect by then. It'll be like 2050 or something. It'll be so long. Even in Ateeeeeeez's like military era, I'll still have like other collections, but I don't know like if I would collect as thoroughly for anybody as I do for Ateeeeeeez. Ateeeeeeez is kind of like my one and only, like my main squeeze. I love them so very much. Every single member, every single day. And so like I don't know that I would find another group that I love this much to dedicate my whole heart, soul, and wallet to them. But I might. You don't know. I never thought that I would find a group that I love as much as I do Ateeeeeeez. Like that was kind of a miracle in itself. So we don't know the future. My favorite K-pop songs of 2023. Honestly, 2023 was a banger year for K-pop. Like, they came back with a force. I feel like 2022 was kind of like touch and go there. But like 2023, we had some bangers this year. And especially with like the girl groups. The girl group renaissance was like top tier, 12 out of 10. I'm so proud of all of the girl groups. That it has definitely been girl group on top. We got Seraphim, we got IVE, New Jeans, who I do not support in any capacity because I do not support Minheejin. Like, I wish I could support New Jeans because they're so cute, and I honestly do love what I've heard of their music. I have never streamed their music videos. I do not buy their albums. I don't stream them on Spotify. Like, I'm not putting money into Minheejin's pockets in any capacity. Like, I refuse to do it. But if she was out of the picture, dang, New Jeans would be my jam. They really would. But I've been trying to keep their name out of my mouth because I don't even want to talk about it because I know how I'm going to get. But freaking Zero Base One. I know somebody saw this coming, but I love Zero Base One music so much. Like, I just got slapped in the face with how much I love Zero Base One. I honestly didn't think that I would because I didn't watch Boyz Planet. I didn't engage with any Boyz Planet content. content. I didn't like look into any of the members once they debuted or anything. Like I literally I didn't even like In Bloom on first listen, but like I have bad taste on first listen. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't like Key's Gasoline on first listen. Like that's how bad a first listen taste I have. But like I didn't even like In Bloom on first listen, but you know, K-pop stans, they're gonna make it everybody's problem when something comes out. And so I kept hearing it and kept hearing it. And then like one day I was just like I was just like, and I was like, what am I singing? Went back, watched In Bloom again, fell in freaking love. Like, oh my God. And then like weeks after that, they came out with their second album, and I freaking love that album. I freaking love it. Like so much. It makes me aggressive how much I love it. But other than Zero Base One, I really enjoy TNX's album, Love Never Dies. I love that album. I listen to it daily. I love TNX. And then of course Ateez's albums. Like we had a killer year this year. Like I know I'm biased, but we did well. Okay, y'all can't say Bouncy wasn't a bop. You cannot say Crazy Form was not a bop. That's what you can't say, because you'd be lying. Okay, so this is my largest Photocard binder that I own, and of course it's Ateeez, and it is my Fever Pop binder. There's no album cards in here. These are all pops. This binder is enormous. Like, oh my God, it breaks my back every single time. Open it so large. This person asked me, do you have any ZB1 in your collections, and would you collecting ZB1 in the future? No and no. No. Absolutely not. No. But they are my favorite debut from this year by far. I just ZB1, why did you have to be a temporary group? If they were a like real group, I would for sure collect them. If you don't know, my bias in ZB1 is actually Gonu. I watched Yasingle, which is the group that formed Tan with Jaejoon in it, and he didn't make it into Tan, and he was devastated, and I was pulling for him. I was pulling for him, and I was pulling for Jaejoon and Banghoon, who like did make it, so I do collect like 2 members of Tan. But anyway, I loved him, and I was like, I swear I'm gonna follow you, and wherever you debut, like I'm gonna support you. And then it was in freaking ZB1. So like the way I have struggled, and he is the cutest little bean you have ever seen. Like I love him to the moon and back, and I do want to support him, but like I want to support him in his forever home. Because like I very much know myself. I know what kind of collector I am, and if I get into ZB1, even just saying like, oh, I'm just gonna collect Gonu, that's not gonna be how it is, because I'm gonna end up buying albums, and then I'm gonna pull somebody who's not Gonu, obviously, because there's 9 of them. So like, hello, it's not like I'm only ever gonna pull Gonu. And so like I will spiral hard and fast, and like I will hit the pavement so hard and end up with like an OT9 collection or some shit. Like no. And then like it's not even that part that's stopping me. It's that I will eventually have to be like, I will forcibly have to drop them, because they're gonna disband. They're gonna. No matter how much we love them, no matter how successful they are, no matter how much we want them to stay together, they will disband. No ifs, ands, or buts. I hate these bookmarks, but here we are. I collected everything for Fever 2. I collected OT8, everything for Fever 2. I was in my Mingy feels. We're not talking about it. So that is why I don't collect ZB1, if you don't know. It's because of the end. It's not the beginning. It's not all the things that would happen in the middle. It's because of the end. I know how it's going to end, and I'm heartbroken already. So I'm just honestly looking forward to the day when Gonu debuts in like a permanent group, And like now I'm kind of terrified because even if I did like want to like just collect Gonu even for ZB1 and like just follow him throughout his career, I like Rise has kind of scarred me because I love Shoutout and I fully intended to collect him in whatever unit or group he ended up with. And it just turned out that I hated Rise's music. I hate it. I tried to love it so hard, but I just hate it. And so now I like feel like I can't collect Shoutout. I mean, I could still buy his photo cards, but I would never buy a Rise album unless somebody paid me. And even then it would have to be like a lot, like a lot. You would have to pay me to buy a Rise album. Like not even get it for free. You would have to pay me. So now I'm like, what if Gonu does like re-debut and finds his forever home and then it's in a group with a sound that I absolutely hate? Like, what do I do then? So that's another factor in this whole thing. Because I'm just like, I don't want to, you know, put my heart into this and then like have a crisis because I don't like where he ends up, or something happens to ZB1 early, like that it did with X1. Like so many things can happen. So I'm really doing my best to just wait it out, see where he ends up, and then, you know, go from there. But I'm definitely keeping an eye on my Gonu. Like he is still my baby no matter what. Just like Shoutout is still my baby no matter what. I just don't think I can collect Shoutout. I don't know. Anyway, I said I was going to answer Ateeeeeeeez questions. Wow. Oh, this one's good. So how did Hongjoong become your ult bias? Like, what was it about him? So like, of course I love Hongjoong. He can sing, he can dance, he can rap, he's so cute, he's so friendly, like, you know, all the idly things. But I feel like above all else, I just feel so incredibly safe with like Hongjoong. Because, you know, we all know K-pop is like not the safest place for people of color. I keep bringing it up, but like, that's just reality. That's just life. We all deal with that. But I have never, ever once felt unsafe being an Ateeeeeeeeez or specifically biasing Kim Hongjoong. Not that I would feel unsafe biasing any of my kids. Like, I think they're all good eggs. But like, I just absolutely fell in love with him for like everything that he stands for. He not only like spouts these ideals, he puts forth the most effort I have ever seen anybody to try to like make things better. He doesn't just point out problems. He actually does things to try to make them better. He tries to bring awareness to things and like, stop, I'm gonna tear up. I love that man so much. He just like really is the embodiment of humbling kindness, which is honestly a tattoo that I kind of consider getting. Just humbling kindness, not too K-pop related, but like something that I also kind of live by. With also like, mine would be humble kindness and like sustainability. I'm real big into sustainability, if you don't know. I worked at Whole Foods for like 4 years. Anyway, random facts you didn't need to know. So like, it is just everything that he is and everything that he isn't, I'm so drawn to. And so like, he was the first idol that like I really fell in love with in that way, because although I do love Baekhyun, okay, I do, he is hella problematic. Honestly, the amount of comments that Baekhyun makes that are so out of pocket, the amount of times that I have witnessed him like bully Kai for his skin tone, which is gorgeous. That man is like made out of golden dreams, like and like even he has like admitted like he said those things about Kai because he felt like insecure about himself, and he saw Kai as like beautiful and like competition to like him and such and so forth, which is all fine. Like, he is a human being, and like, it's not up to me to forgive him, but it does make me uncomfortable that like he can look at his friend and make such colorist remarks about him to try to make himself feel better. Okay? I feel like people are gonna like come for me. I'm not at all saying that Baekhyun is a bad person. He is just a human being. And like, we all have faults, but like, some faults I can deal with better than others. And like, so like, there has been never any such thing in Ateeeeeeez, but like, especially Hongjoong, he always advocates for diversity. He always advocates for like everyone being beautiful in their own and comfortable in their own skin. Like, he's never disparaged his members. He doesn't allow the members to disparage each other or themselves, which is equally as important. Even when they like do the thing where it's like, oh, which member would you like to look like? They always all pick Yuno, which like, fair and valid, because like, look at Yuno. But he's like, oh, you know, it would be nice to look like Yuno for a day, but like, you know, there's no one like me. And so I just absolutely love Kim Hongjoong. He is everything to me. He is my safe space. He is my comfort. And so, yeah. And also, he's a Scorpio, so like, there's that. I love how I said all that and then reduced it down to he's a Scorpio. Wow. How very Aries of me. Anyway. So yeah, that's how Hongjoong became my ult. It was honestly forged. It was earned through all of his actions over these years. And like, I completely trust that man with my whole entire life. Like, he can have my shoe size, social security number, bra size. I don't know what he would do with it, but like, he can have it because I trust him that much. I'm being ridiculous. I'm sorry. Oh, this one's fun. It says, to you, what are the easiest and most difficult things about collecting Ateeeeeeez? Honestly, the easiest is the album cards. Because we have so many fan signs, the album cards are not really too bad to get from the later eras. Treasure era, we had a whole one. We had one POB and that was it. And it was MMT. So like, they're hard. They're hard. Okay? I won't even sit here and lie to you and say that, oh yeah, you can collect all them. No, some of them are hard. But like, the more recent stuff is like way easier because we have so many fan signs and you can pick up album cards for like $2 each. So there's that. All right, it's time for who you know and love, Miss Myrna. She has all of my POBs after Fever. She also kind of needs, if we have an epilogue for movement, if we have a movement epilogue, it's not gonna make it. Like, she's full. She's at capacity, like right now. Anyway, the hardest thing about collecting Ateeeeeeez is because we started out so small and like with so little, like we had little budget. Actually, we had no budget. We had no budget. And we only had like 17, 18 in a dream. Anything from Treasure era just tends to be really hard to even find. And when you do find it, it's expensive. But yeah, just even finding some stuff from that era is really hard. So that's what I would consider to be like the absolute hardest thing. But like, I would say recently we are having such an issue with scalpers. Like, you would think Ateeeeeeez is the most popular group in the universe with how high their prices are, but that's not true. We're still relatively unpopular. Like, comparatively, like if you compare our fandom to like TXT, BTS, Stray Kids, like our fandom is nothing in comparison to those fandoms. Size-wise, we have heart. Okay, we have spirit. But like the way that our prices are set up, you would think like we're the most popular out there. But like, it's because of scalpers. There are people dedicated to buying up everything Ateeeeeeez to resell and make a huge profit on. Not even like a marginal profit, a huge profit. We're talking like 500% markups here. Like, y'all need to stop. So like, we're running into issue where actual Ateeeeeeeeez can't get things because the scalpers are buying it all. Like, the way that the season's greetings ran out in 2 days was ridiculous. Like, it was just ridiculous. And there was no less than 17, because I counted them, because I had to secure my season's greetings for my go somehow. I saw no less than 17 sites selling those season's greetings at huge markups, because it was only like $40 something with shipping. Like, on the website, it was like $35 with shipping. They would have been like $40 something each. Tell me why the season's greetings were going for $80, $90. Tell me why. It makes no sense. And so, yeah, I think that's kind of the hardest thing, is that like, you have to fight with scalpers in this fandom. It's not even other Ateeeeeeeeez snatching stuff up. It's the scalpers. So that's what I would consider to be like the biggest issue currently. But yeah, how fun. While we're on this page, it says, what do you consider your most top tier favorite cards in each of your collections, and why? And do you have a specific type of card that you tend to prefer overall? Certain pose, concept, hairstyle, holo, etc. So anything cute, anything holo. I love. I especially love anytime any of my kiddos has pink hair for very obvious reasons. Pink backgrounds. I love anything pink. Anything pink. Hair. That one photocard where San's legs are pink for no reason. I'm sorry. Let me not talk about hot dog leg San. Those tend to be cards that I love. I just love it when they're holding items. I really do. And wearing tiaras, but I don't think Ateeeeeeez has any tiara cards. But if I could pick, somebody asked me like if I could choose a set for Ateeeeeeeez to do, tiaras or the port of call set. We'll get to that. I'll show y'all. I love the port of call set so very much. So very much. Okay, this person has like 12 questions. So, tips for back collecting a full group with a lot of PCs. Do you stan any Nugu, lesser known groups? Stan CSR and Unite. I have never heard of them. How very lesser known of them. Tips on starting and growing a collection channel. I don't think I'm the one for that. I'm so unpopular. What made you start separating your top 3 with Ateeeeeeez album PC? So yeah, that was the one that I read. That, yeah, it's because the backs used to be so aesthetic when I did that. Now, not so much. Tips for back collecting a group with a lot of PCs. Always and forever, start with the current era. It's going to be way easier. Everything's going to be available. You'll find things for cheaper prices because there's going to be an abundance. And like, once things dry up, you will have issues. Other than that, I would say, like, rather than trying to focus on a member or an era after completing the like current era, just get what you can find for the best price that you can find it and just piece together that way. Because if you try to focus too hard on like, I have to finish treasure era before I can move on to fever or something like that, you will miss out on so many good like deals and sales on fever era things. So after you finish the current era, I would say just focus on what you can get for the best price available and just grab what you can. Keep a close eye on your template and don't buy dupes. Don't be like me. Don't buy dupes. That's how I back collected Ateeeeeeez, although I didn't have that far back to go because again, they didn't have a lot in treasure era, so it was kind of easier in that way. But yeah, I didn't specifically focus on, okay, I need to collect all of EP2 before I can move on to WayV Illusion. Like, no, I just collected whatever I could find for the best prices that I could find, and like just kept my head on a swivel, honestly. Ooh, that hashtag. She must have been tired of me because I was out here. But yeah, that's my advice for that. And we are done. I just love these. We are done with Miss Myrna. Okay, now it's time for this binder. This is my first Ateeeeeeez merch binder and also my original binder. Used to be just her. How far we have come. But yeah, do I stand any Nugu lesser known groups? I would say like only Tan. They're pretty lesser known. That's why it's so hard to collect them. Besides that, no, again, I try not to stan rookies anymore because we just have a quality control issue. That's rude. It's not like the quality went down. I just don't like it. So there's that. Tips on starting and growing a collection channel. Oh wait, here's Protocol. Hold on. I love this set. This is still one of my favorite Ateeeeeeez sets. 2 years with Ateeeeeeez. Heart.
Baby Shark.
I love this set so much. It's so cohesive. It's so beautiful. I love it when they hold up signs and it like spells things. I love it. I love it so much. But anyway. Yeah. I mean, if you are pretty new to my channel, which I don't know how you got here. Trying to think of a less rude way to say that. I don't know how you lost, baby girl. I used to literally just film in my closet. So I was just a girl talking to myself in my closet. And like I said yesterday during my Storing PCs video, I am now just a girl talking to herself in the living room. So again, we upgraded with 2 Ds for a double dose of pimpin'. What an obscure thing to say. But yeah, I just love, once I like fell in love with Ateeeeeez and like really got deep in the sauce of K-pop, I realized that I had nobody to talk about K-pop with. And so I thought, like, maybe if I start a channel, I'll find a friend to talk about K-pop with. And I did. I found my best friend, and I love her so much. Never leave me. Never leave me. I love you. So that is why I started my channel. But, like, I would not consider myself a YouTuber. I'm definitely not popular by any means. Like, I don't know how any of you got here. I don't even know really how many of you there are, because if you don't know, YouTube has a thing where you can turn off analytics if you're like, okay, no, this is not my job. I don't need you like spouting numbers at me. So I have that turned off. I can't see how many people view my videos. I can't see how many likes it gets. I don't know how many subscribers I have, if I have any. I don't know. The only thing I see when it comes to like my channel and my videos is you guys' comments. So if like only 2 people comment, I just assume only 2 people watched. Sometimes people do DM me and they're like, oh, Shy, I watched your latest video and like I have this, or you said this, but like it's actually this, you know, stuff like that. But like otherwise, I don't know. I will say that my dear friend Miriam Songhwa Woo, she like DM'd me and she was like, Shy, your channel hit 4K. And I was like, 4K what? You mean I film in 4K? Yes, I do. So like she told me my subscriber count and I was like, no, it's not. And really I have it turned off because it gives me great anxiety. Like I'm not an outgoing girly. It may seem like I am. I'm not. I am literally alone in my home. So yeah, it just gives me great anxiety around like numbers and things, and like numbers are my job. And so like, I feel like I would get too in my head about it. So I just have it turned off. I don't worry about it. I ignore it. I make what I want, how I want to make it, regardless of the performance of it all. So if you're trying to start a popular K-pop YouTube channel, I cannot help you. I'm not the one, girl, because like I'm not popular, nor do I wish to be. I am happy with just a small group of close-knit friends commenting. Like, I'm good with that. So like, we good. We're Gucci. But yeah, so sorry I can't help you with that. I would ask like Wanade, go ask Carolyn. I feel like she could have some good tips and tricks to being popular. She is so popular with reason. Xiao, she's actually the one who got me into, somebody asked me like how I got into like trade sale Instagram. Xiao, Katie, I loved watching her like open mail with me stuff, and like she's like, oh yeah, I traded with this person on Instagram, and I was like, you can trade photo cards? Like, game over. Started my account. Had to, you know, go through the process of like having no proofs and everything like that. I'm so happy that people still traded with me. I did offer to send first. Like I had no problem with that. So if you are just starting out and you don't have any proofs, I think offering to send first is like a good thing to do, and people will trust you more. This is the second merch binder, Miss Sakura. But yeah, once you have around like 30 or so proofs, usually people are then like, fine. They're like, okay, yeah, you're not a scammer, you're good. Scams still do happen though, so just always be careful. If you feel like somebody is being like super aggressive with you or like really pushy, just don't trade with that person, because more than likely they're a scammer, okay? In my experience, if they're being really pushy and like, no, you need to send out now or whatever, they're a scammer and they're trying to scam you, and they know they have a limited time to get you to agree and to get you to send out before they're discovered. So that's why they're like that. But also just don't trade with mean people. Like, even if they have a card you need, don't trade with mean people. Don't support people being mean. Like, don't be mean. Oh, this is a good question. It says, do you ever struggle with burnout due to the amount of POBs Ateeeeeeeeez release? And do you have any tips for overcoming it? So only one time did I get truly burned out by Ateeeeeeeez, and like, it was so bad. It was so bad. And it was after Fever 3. Like I said before, you know, during Treasure Era, we had one MMT card per version. And for like the first 2 albums, we only had 1 version, and then we went to 2. So like we really didn't have many POBs. Fever 1, we had like 7. We had like 7 fan signs. And the number of POBs have just been steadily increasing from there. And so in Fever 3, I had decided to drop down from collecting OTA everything to just collecting my top 3 members, which was Hongjoong, Sunny, and Jong-oh. And I wanted to collect them for everything, but like due to the large amount of POBs that were dropped in Fever 3, which honestly is nothing compared to what we have now. Like, I wish we could go back to Fever 3 level of POBs, and there was still a lot. Due to that, a lot of our golems like weren't ready for that level of capacity. And so like we had a lot of golems just like get anxiety and like just ghost their goes. We had a lot of that. And my golem was unfortunately one of them. She has never come back to, but like, how do you even come back from that? So yeah, she just ghosted us, never gave us our cards, never answered our DMs, emails, messages, nothing. So we were basically all scammed. That's not funny, but like, oh, I kind of get it. Not saying I encourage or endorse it, like, but like, I kind of get it. So, after Fever 3, I was so like burned out on just like looking for cards, and I couldn't find things, and things were expensive, and scalpers bought everything, and like I was just like really going through it. and having a hard time finishing Fever 3, which I think I just finished Fever 3 this year. Now that I'm thinking about it, I just finally got the last card. That's so sad. And then like Ateeeeeeez rapidly, like within weeks, came back with Fever Epilogue, and I broke. I straight up, like, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. I ignored Epilogue. I didn't pre-order a single thing for Epilogue. I didn't look at it. I didn't listen to the music video. I didn't engage with any Ateeeeeeez content. Like, Ateeeeeeeez fell off the face of the earth for me during Fever Epilogue. I could not take it. And I wouldn't say I regret taking that break, because I so desperately needed it, honestly. But like, that was also the first time that they did signed albums from Hello 82, and I missed it. So there's that FOMO. This is Miss Eris. Can you believe we still have 6 more binders after this one? 6 more Ateeeeeeez binders. This is my chaos binder, where I just store all of the POBs that just don't have a place, honestly. But yeah, I took a break for Fever Epilogue, missed out on the very first signed albums, which devastated me. I did end up getting a Fever Epilogue signed album from an Ateeeeeeeee who resold it to me for 3 times the price, but like, no regrets. I still love that album. So if you are feeling burnt out, stop. Just stop. Don't push through. Stop. Nothing is going to be worth your mental health. That is just the long and the short of it. K-pop is supposed to be fun. K-pop is supposed to bring you joy. Collecting is supposed to be fun and joyous. And if it stops feeling that way, stop. I'm not saying you have to sell everything that you've collected and that you own. I didn't do that with Ateeeeeeez. I just simply stopped. I didn't look at them. I didn't touch any of my Ateeeeeeez binders. Like, it is literally like Ateeeeeeez did not exist for 3 months. Like, I just straight up ignored it. But when I got back into it, it really wasn't too hard for me to pick up all of Epilogue's album cards, just because, like I said, there's so many fan signs and things that, like, it was pretty easy to back collect everything. And around 3 months is when Gomes like get the bulk of their extra cards in. It's like, okay, this is like the 3rd shipment we've had since the era started. And now I am drowning in album cards. Please take them. So like, I bought in bulk for like really cheap prices for the majority of Epilogue. And because there was so many fan signs, I was able to find a lot of sets, POB sets, like OT8 POB sets, for super cheap. Like, a lot of my OT8 sets that I got them for like 20, 30 bucks for the entire set on Mercari Japan. Just because like, people will always try to win that fan sign, and so they'll bulk buy and then, you know, need to recoup some of their money, so they'll sell the POBs for cheap. So if you're a person who doesn't really care what sets you get and you just, you know, want to have some OT8 sets, wait until after the fan signs are over. You will find sets for like $40 or less. Full OT8 sets of POBs. That's my like pro tip for you if you just like want some OT8 AT sets. They're all kind of cute though, like, just saying. Y'all, I lied right to your faces. I forgot about my Japanese binder. Now there's 6 more after this. Oh, I have so many Ateeeeeeez binders. Okay, so we're back on Instagram questions. Have you seen Ateeeeeeez in concert? No. Somebody else asked me if I'm going to see them this year. Also, probably no, which sucks. And it's not that I don't want to, and it's not that I wouldn't spend the money, because trust me, I would. If you can't tell, I'm a girl with many an ailment, okay? On top of clinical anxiety, I deal with motion sickness, meaning anytime I get in a car, I am sick, and I'm like ready to like throw up my whole insides. and it is awful. I really can't travel too far from my house. And it sucks because Ateeeeeeez does not come here. So when I move states, which I plan to do once I get my credentials, hopefully in 2024, let's all manifest that Shy gets her credentials, please, and gets that pay bump because Shy needs that extra 30K. Okay, hooray. Once that happens and I'm able to move states, and I'm specifically planning to live close to where Ateeeeeeez goes for concerts whenever they come here to the US, then I am gonna go. But like, it's just not feasible for me to cross state lines to go see them because like I would be so sick and I probably wouldn't be able to enjoy it if I even made it. And so that's why I haven't gone. But it's not for lack of wanting to. It is my dream to see Ateeeeeeez live in concert. Like, I would truly give anything, but like, it's just, with my health, it's just really not feasible for me right now. And I'm so upset about it. But yeah, that's why I haven't gone. This person asks, is there a PC that you want really badly, but just can't justify the money people price it at? Yeah. So it's a broadcast card, of course. It's Hongjoong's specifically Halloween broadcast card and his chocolate bar one. So they're back in Treasure Era. Everything is back in Treasure Era. Ateeeeeeez did this content where they made chocolate bars for Ateeeeeeeeeez. Like they literally made them and then gave them to Ateeeeeeeeeez. And so for that event, there was broadcast cards and like Hongjoong took a picture with the chocolate bar and it's pink and I love it. But if you don't know this about Ateeeeeeeez's broadcast cards, the ones from Treasure EP 1 and 2 are double-sided and they're double-sided in like age order. So Hongjoong and Seonghwa are one card, Yuno and Yeosang are one card, Sani and Mingi are one card, and then Woyoung and Jongho are one card. Park Seonghwa. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this to you guys, but freaking Park Seonghwa is so expensive. And so because Seonghwa is on the back, it makes that card so exponentially more expensive because I would not only be buying Hongjoong, but I would be buying Seonghwa at the same time. So that's why I can't collect those broadcasts. It's because Seonghwa is on the back. Or on the front, if I guess if you put Seonghwa first, which is a choice. Yeah, so like I have seen that card. The chocolate bar one, I have not ever seen the Halloween one for sale, but I have recently seen the chocolate bar one, $1,000. Straight up $1,000 before any fees, $1,000. With fees, it would probably be around $1,200 after all is said and done. So no. Although I am willing to like lay down some stacks in the name of Kim Hongjoong, $1,200? No, that's rent. Okay, absolutely not. So unless like there's an old school Ateeeeeeeeez who like decides to drop their collection and then actually sell it for decent, I don't think I'll ever have that card because I'm not going to pay $1,200 for it. I'm just not, and it makes me so sad. But yeah, the Photocard that you bought this year that brought you the most joy, definitely Teddy Bear Hongjoong. I did not think at all that I was going to be able to get Hongjoong's Teddy Bear Universe Winners PC. Because like, first of all, can we talk about how Universe is no longer even a thing? How they went bankrupt? It's not funny, but it's kind of funny because their content was good, but like their app was so trash. Like it was so trash. But yeah, I remember that event and like I thought about entering it, but like I'm not a fan sign girly, so I was like, nah. And then when I saw the winners cards, oh my gosh, I lost it. I searched high and low. And then when I saw the prices, $800, 800 US American dollars. Like, I was like, no. So I genuinely did not think that I was ever going to get Teddy Bear Hongjoong. And then when I saw him for $400, I did not even think twice. Bought him so fast. And I have no regrets. I would do it again. I would do it again today. I would do it right now. I freaking love that card. It is my absolute favorite photo card that I own. If I die, y'all can sell the rest of my collection, but bury me with that card. Or if I'm being cremated, burn that card with me. It's not being passed on. We're not going to pass go. Nobody's collecting $200. I am keeping that card even after death. Okay, next up we have my Hongjoong A4 binder. Of all my binder covers, this one is like one of my favorites. And it is the one that I have spent the least amount of time making. If you saw my April Fool's video that I did for 2023, I created this binder as an April Fool's joke, but like because I created it so fast, I didn't let the glue dry. And so then when I put this in, the glue did dry. And so now this cover is actually stuck in here forever. Fun fact. Anyway. So yes, this person asked if you could only choose one Ateeeeeeeez PC to keep, which one would it be? Teddy Bear Hongjoong, all the way. All the way. No hesitation. Favorite Ateeeeeeeez album and least favorite. So, I'll have to think about my favorite Ateeeeeeez album because I love so much of Ateeez's discography, but I do know my least favorite. And it probably ties into the way that I was feeling during that time, but it's Fever Epilogue. I almost never listen to anything from Fever Epilogue. And like unpopular opinion, I don't like The Real. I don't like The Real. I don't like Turbulence. So yeah, I just never really listened to that album. That page is blank. That is for sure my least favorite Ateeeeeeez album just in existence. But hey, you can't win them all, you know? There was bound to be lows where there's highs. My favorite, I don't know. I'm so torn. I'm really nostalgic for EP2. Because it has Holla Holla on it, and that's how I got into Ateeeeeeez. And I think it's also Say My Name era. Like it's just such an iconic era. It was such a good era of Ateeeeeeez. This is blank too. Are we done with this binder? Oh yeah, we're done with this binder. This was it. It's a mess, but like since I just started this binder this year, she's gonna be a little bit messy until she gets some more meat on her bones, but it's okay. Okay, now we can do my couple of Ateeeeeeez A5 binders. I really, really love this current album, like Will era. It's our first comeback with a full album since Wonderland, and like Wonderland, she's iconic. I don't particularly love all of the B-sides on that album as much as like other albums. I don't hate them. I just don't listen to them super duper often because they're not my favorite. But like this album, I love Crazy Form. I love the B-sides. Like I love this album from top to bottom. And the fact that we got unit songs, I have wanted like unit songs or like solo songs for the longest time for Ateeeeeeez. So like the fact that we finally got Jongho on a solo track, like, and freaking Mats, I'll start screaming if I talk about Mats. This is crooked. I'm sorry if this is crooked. It's You. I literally listen to it every single morning. Like literally I wake up, I turn on It's You, and then I like check my messages. I check all my emails. I have like 15,000 emails, like email addresses. That is literally my morning routine. I love that song with my full chest. It's R&B goodness, R&B immaculateness. I love that song. I love that song so much. so much. So like I don't know. It's hard for me to pick a favorite album because it's like between nostalgia and like their genuinely always improving their sound and their music and everything. So it's like always like the current era is like so good that I'm like, wow, can it get better? And then it does somehow. Okay, so now we are going to go through my Hongjoong A5. This is my most favorite binder. I just love this binder. It's so cute, but like it is full somehow. Person asked me, what's a collection set that you couldn't believe you completed this year? I feel like this is the closest thing that I have, and like this binder is not complete by any means, but look at this page. Look at this beautiful page. This is a page entirely composed of Hongjoong's winners PCs, and like the fact that I have the earliest winners PC that there is, and I am not caught up because there's more now, but like before the current era came out, like that I was almost caught up with his winners PCs, including my #1 favorite card. I love this card so much. It's perfection. I love it. I honestly can't believe that I have come this far, not only with his winners PCs, but with his broadcast cards. Like when I decided that I did want to become a thorough Hongjoong collector, which hopefully I will be one day. One day I'll get there. I genuinely thought it was going to take me so much longer to even get this far. So I'm honestly so grateful and proud that I have come this far, and I'm so thankful for the people that helped me by like sending me posts when they see things, because like without y'all's eagle eyes, like I definitely would not have gotten this far in just 1 year. Like I'm so proud of this collection. Above all else of my Ateeeeeeeez collection, I'm just really proud of how diligent I've been with finding broadcast and like being able to get them, even though K-Twit is a dumpster fire and like just full of scams. But like even so, like I just love this binder so much. It has all of my favorite Hongjoong cards. Mostly. There are Hongjoong cards that I love that are not in this binder. But yeah, this would be the closest thing as to like something that I've completed. It's not complete yet. It's always going to be kind of ongoing until, you know, we reach military era, but you know, I am mostly keeping up with it and I'm really happy with that. With the exception of EP 1 and 2, we've had this discussion. Sung was on the back and we can't. We just can't. But that being said, this binder is full, which I didn't expect. So changes to come in 2020. I genuinely didn't know Sung was back here. Well, how did you get in here? Oh my gosh. Okay. Anyways. So Songhwa jump scare. I'm so much. I also really want to work on his like non-photocard items in 2024, but we'll talk more about that later. Okay, now it is time for my second favorite Ateeeeeeez binder that I own, and that is my Ateeeeeeeez archive binder. This is a 12 pocket binder. It is absolutely massive. If you don't know, I have Godzilla size hands. Like I have huge hands, and like this binder makes my hands look normal size. Anyway. It's so beautiful. I just love this binder so much because I can just, because it's got like 4 pockets, like it's perfect if you collect 8 of something, which is the whole of Ateeeeeeez. Anyways. Oh, look at the spreads. Somebody asked me what my favorite Hongjoong PC is and why. I don't actually own my favorite Hongjoong PC because it's a broadcast and it's so cute, but I try not to collect broadcasts for anybody but Hongjoong. Have I done it? Yes, and we'll get to that, but like I try not to if it's not like for set purposes. But I'll show you my favorite my favorite Hongjoong card that I own. But like the spreads, I just love the spreads in this. So freaking cute. Oh! I really love looking through this binder. It is so beautiful. Yeah, these are broadcasts, but they're units. So like, does this count? Does this really count? And these are all winners PCs, and these are all broadcasts. So, yeah. Oh, I just love the layout of this so much. I call this my Ateeeeeeeez archive binder because like I only put stuff in here when I'm like ready to put it in a spread like this. I don't do that like before it gets to this point. So this binder always looks nice for the most part. This is actually my favorite Hongjoong card. It is a winner's PC and I love him. It's a bear baby in bear pajamas. What is... I absolutely love this card. Some Makestar winners PC. Yeah, I collected 2 sets of winners PCs for my top 4. We don't speak about it. We don't. Anyway. Yeah, back here, it's not quite as much. Like, this is stuff that just, like, didn't have a place in my other binders, so I decided to archive it until I could find something that goes with it. And then there's this set. I really love it when they spell things. Tease and teeny. I love it. I really want them to do, like, something similar, so I'll have something to put here, but I just love like flipping to this page and I'll just stare at it because I love it. I'm such a weirdo, but that's it for my Ateeeeeeeez archive binder. And with that, that is all of my Ateeeeeeeez photo card binders. So now all we have left is my 2 Ateeeeeeeez larger inclusion binders. And then we will be done with this video. I wonder how long this is gonna be. Okay, so this is my Ateeeeeeeez album postcard binder from when they used to do album postcards in every album, which they stopped doing and then recently started doing again. Okay, so I will answer all of these questions. So biggest Hongjoong ISO, honestly, just his 2 winners PCs that I'm missing. If I could find those, I would be contentish. I'll never be fully content unless I own all of the Hongjoongs in the world, but I'll be contentish. My favorite part about collecting is honestly the community. Like, collecting is so much more fun when you have people that you can talk about like your favorite group with, when you can like trade with people and like get to know them, when you hear other people's thoughts and opinions on groups, or like when somebody puts you on to a group, they're like, hey, have you checked them out? And then you have never heard of them and then they become your fave. Like, I really, for all of the flaws that it has, and it does, and it does, I really, really love the K-pop buying, selling, trading community. I honestly find it so fulfilling, so rewarding, and like I have met some of the best people by, you know, getting into K-pop that I would have never met otherwise. And I'm always so happy and so thankful, so grateful for it, like every single day, every single day. Any collecting regrets? Passing on a purchase. Honestly, I should have collected the Ateeeeeeez during Treasure Era. I will never stop being salty about it. I won't. I really want to like finish my Treasure Era collection for the other members. I decided that I wanted to go back and get the other members' MMT cards. They're kind of expensive now. Like literally, I used to see them for like $12, $8, and now they're like $30. And my brain was like, but it used to be $12. And I just have to accept that it's $30 now. I do. But like, I think that might be a 2024 goal, is to just like collect more Ateeeeeeez. Yeah. Let's see, this person asked me something from your everyday job that helps you with collecting, like a skill. So like I said, I'm an accountant, specifically a tax accountant. So I work with like a lot of different numbers. I can genuinely tell your whole life by what your tax return looks like. So that's fun. Treat your tax accountant well. But like a skill that definitely helps me is what I would call my accountant's eye. I can spot an inconsistency or an error from a mile away. I'm like, that's not right. Like something's not right. And then I can usually like find what it is. And that skill has literally saved me from buying so many fake cards because I can spot the inconsistencies. I can spot what's wrong pretty quickly. And I'm like, no, this is a fake. Especially because I know what the majority of Ateeeeeeeeez cards looks like. I know which flaws are like legitimate flaws. Like the back of the Fan Sign 7 Fever Part 1 Hongjoong card, it says Hongjoong. Things that seem fake but aren't. They just wholeheartedly spelled his name wrong on his own card. I was like, wow, y'all couldn't even bother to double check my man's name. What's wrong with you? So I would say that like that helps. Also with like budgeting and, you know, K-pop math, such and so forth. Honestly, is there budgeting in K-pop when you have K-pop math? It's like, well, if I buy 2 members, I can save 3%. That's K-pop math. Let's see, this person asked me, how long do you see yourself collecting and what makes you still enjoy it? Ateeeeeeeez. I will be collecting until Ateeeeeeeez retires. When they retire, I'll revisit it. But until then, I will at least collect Ateeeeeeeez. And they plan to go until they're 80. That's what Hongjoong said. I don't know if Sungwa can thrust for that long, but like, okay. His hip already went out once and he's barely in his 20s. Like, I don't know if we can be out here doing all that, but okay. Willow to your heart's content, Sungwa. But yeah, I still genuinely enjoy collecting Ateeeeeeeez with my full heart. Collecting every single member brings me so much joy. I always have so much fun looking for Ateeeeeeeez cards. I never get bored of it. I never get tired of it. And besides the one era where I was burned out, I don't really like push myself that hard to where I do get burned out. I know my limits. I know when to stop. I know when to take a break. So, you know, just learning those things about myself really helps me still just have so much fun with K-pop and collecting in general. They also asked, what are my hobbies outside of collecting? I don't want to say reading smut, but reading smut. Because I collect a lot of things. Like outside of K-pop, I also collect manga. I collect dimes. Yes, the coins, the currency. Yes. I collect Coca-Cola products. I just collect a lot of things. I like to collect things. I'm a collector. So like outside of collecting things, I really just like to read manga and usually smut. Not that I'm encouraging anybody to do so, but like, it is fun. Oh, and studying languages. That's all indoor activities. I'm not an outdoors girly. I do also love to swim indoors. I like to play indoors volleyball. Anything indoors, really. I love to play The Sims. Love The Sims. I don't play it too much anymore, but do I still buy every game pack that comes out just to sit here and not play it? Yes, I do. And there we go. That is this binder. And I think we just have one more binder left. Okay, and finally we have arrived at my last Ateeeeeeez binder and my last binder overall. Binder number 30. Oh, this one's a mess. This one's also got Ateeeeeeeez larger inclusions, but it's honestly kind of a mess. So just don't mind her. She just keeps it messy. Anyway, so this person asked me, what's one trend in the buying, selling, trading community that you would never follow and why? I don't really know if it's a trend, but I hate QYOP. I would never do that. QYOP is quote your own price. I hate it. I hate it so much. Just say a price. Like, it's such a waste of time, honestly, to like message somebody and then like there's just a lot of room for people to be dishonest, to have overpriced things, and just a lot of things. So yeah, I would never participate in quote your own price. If I'm gonna sell something, it'll just be a normal, reasonable price. And if it's not a normal, reasonable price, then like people would tell me, they'd be like, Shy, that's too high. Like, I've seen it for this price, and I would just adjust accordingly. It's really just that simple. So I always feel like the people that do quote your own price are just overpricers who don't want to get called out, to be quite honest. If there's like this whole thing where they're like, well, I just don't know what to price it. Ask. There's like 5 trillion people in this community. You don't know not a one? You don't know not a single Ateeeeeeeeez, but you're trying to sell to Ateeeeeeeeez. Like, that seems suspicious to me, but I don't know. So yeah, that's one, I guess, trend I would never follow. This person asked me, as you love fan calls, I just can only assume that's sarcasm, would you ever try for a fan call with 10? Would I ever try? No. Would I attend if I accidentally won one? Sure. I have nothing to say to that man. What am I supposed to say to him? What if he shows up with no shirt on? Where am I supposed to look? These are the real questions that I'm going to need answered. Because I would be so terrified to like look down and then like be staring him in his nipples. Like, I don't... 10 is allergic to shirts. And so like if he did wear a shirt, which I would assume they would make him wear a shirt to the fan call, it would be like the most loose, unbuttoned, unfettered, barely a shirt, probably 3/4 see-through shirt you have ever seen. Like, that's only what I can assume. And so like, I can't live like that, ma'am. I just can't. So no, I would not ever try for a fan call with 10. I wouldn't try for a fan call with anyone. I didn't try for a fan call with Ateeeeeeez. That was the universe on that one. And like, oh, what an experience that was. Oh my gosh. Now I'm thinking about Wooseok. Why would you make me think about that time where Wooseok just stared straight into my spirit like that? Oh, why would you do that to me? Oh. Oh, this person says, in the new year, could you do a shop with me video? I can, if you would like. I feel like that could be kind of boring because I would just be like fawning over Ateeeeeeez car. Oh, well, that's kind of my whole channel. Honestly, for being real honest, it's kind of my whole channel. It's just me fawning over Ateeeeeeez for an endless amount of time. But yeah, I always have like 300 tabs up on my computer at a given time of just Ateeeeeeez cards that I just keep an eye on. Aspirational Ateeeeeeez cards. And it's usually of the members that I don't collect. Of like cute cards of theirs that I want to get, that I talk myself out of buying because where am I going to put it? And also they cost money. But I can try to do a shop with me if you would like. I don't have a problem with it. I just don't want you to be horribly bored. Oh, the same person asked me who you would like to collect but are not mentally, financially able to do so. I'm not. Who knows the answer before I say the answer? Everyone, okay, let's say it together. Hana, 둘, 셋. Zero base one Jiwoong. I freaking love that man. I love that man. If I could collect him, I would. But like, while I am for sure like keeping an eye on Gonu and will like do my best to collect him in whatever his new home will be after Zero Base 1, I can't say the same for anybody else in Zero Base 1. I love Jiwoong, but like, I don't know like where he would go after Zero Base 1. I literally didn't even take these posters out. I just stuck the whole thing. I'm so lazy with my larger inclusions. Like, so I don't want to collect him just to never collect him again, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know what's going to happen to Zero Base 1, and I know none of us know what's going to happen to Zero Base 1, but it's like my first time with a group that I know is going to be temporary. And so like, I just have a lot of anxieties surrounding that. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not a girl who likes surprises at all. Like, no, I like to know exactly what's going to happen, which is why I watch so much anime. I know what's going to happen in the show, even if it's a brand new anime, because anime has tropes, and so does K-dramas, which is why I like it. I already know what's going to happen within like a controlled determination of possible outcomes. Fun fact, I have a fear of things that are unquantifiable, like outer space and the ocean. So yeah, it literally sends me into a panic attack. I can't watch anything having to do with like outer space. Realistic outer space, not like space movies like Star Wars or like Guardians of the Galaxy or anything like that. But like literal like photos and videos of outer space sends me into a panic attack. It's happened twice. So like, yeah, I'm not allowed to watch it anymore. Even though I love outer space, it's particularly Jupiter. Love that planet. I find it infinitely fascinating. But yeah, so I just don't like unquantifiable things. I don't like surprises. And so, yeah, I just don't know what's going to happen with ZB1. I wish I did. I really do. But I don't. And because of that, I'm just kind of staying away from them. And just like, I feel like I'm like outside of a window with my hand just like on the glass, just like watching them from the outside. Like a sad puppy. I want to collect them so bad. And it's not even financial. I can make it work. It's 100% mental. But maybe things will change, and I shouldn't even say that. Don't even give myself hope. No, we can't collect ZB1. We cannot collect ZB1. Everybody say it with me. We cannot collect ZB1. No. No. So this person asked me, what is my favorite non-Ateeez photocard? Did we do that? I feel like we did that. Oh yeah, it was Baekhyun. It was Baekhyun. Okay. Let me see. Is there any group you dropped from collecting because another group got too demanding? Ateeez. No group that I have dropped has been because it's become too demanding. If I find something too demanding and it starts infringing upon my ability to collect Ateeez, I will just collect less for that group. I probably won't drop them because I don't, if I really love something, again, I will find a way. I will find a way that will work for me to be able to collect them, excluding ZB1. We just don't talk about ZB1. So that's not ever a reason that I drop somebody. The only reason I will drop somebody is if I just really don't vibe with the group or the music anymore, which again happens with rookies because they just change their whole identity overnight. And I'm like, what is going on here? So yeah, no, it's not ever because like, oh, I need, more focus on Ateeeeeeeez, because like I'll always find a way to collect Ateeeeeeeeez. Like you can bet. Bet. But yeah, that's the only reason I would ever drop a group, is if I just truly am not vibing with that group anymore, which is unfortunate, but it does happen. I think I've only ever dropped a couple of groups. I've definitely dropped collecting members from groups. Like that's what happened with the Boyz. I used to collect my top 4, including Scorpio Q. But like I got scammed 4 times in TBZ community, and I was just like, okay, this is enough. This is enough. So in that case, it wasn't even that like I didn't like the group or the members. I just kept getting scammed, and I was so sick of it. Somebody also asked me like what was the first time I ever got scammed, and I'm pretty sure it was like that Ateeeeeeez go back in Fever 3 era, where my gom just like straight up ghosted us because she got overwhelmed. Like she kept coming back to say that she was overwhelmed, but like in the end she like never sent us the cards, she never let anybody help her, and she just ghosted us and kept everything. So that was fun. That was the first time I got scammed, but certainly not the last. Especially being on K-Twit. We are almost done. This whole binder's like trying to flee the scene. It's so full. I need a 3rd Ateeeeeeez larger inclusions binder. But this binder is so huge. This is a 4-inch binder. Insanity. And the fact that Ateeeeeeez never used to have larger inclusions besides their album postcards, and now there's enough that I need 2 4-inch binders. Insanity. Oh gosh. We will end on this page because it has all of my cute babies and I love them. But yes, this has been a flip through of my entire K-pop photocard collection. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much if you sent me a question. It really made doing this strenuous flip through so much more enjoyable for me. So really, thank you so much. Again, if you ask me a question related to like my goals or something like that, that's gonna be its own separate video. If I realize that like I missed your question, I will also just answer that in that video, even if it's not like collection goal or like, you know, Ateeeeeeez, how to collect Ateeeeeeez oriented. All those questions are gonna be their own video because it's gonna be in depth. It's gonna be robust. But yes, thank you so much to everybody who sent me a question. If you made it through this entire, what I'm sure is going to be at least 2-hour video, because like this one clip is 3.5 hours long. Not me trying to make it short, and it's even longer this year. So yeah, thank you so much if you did give interest in my collection. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate all of you guys for coming to my channel, even though I never know how many of you are actually out there. I really appreciate you stopping by, even if you're not subscribed. You do not have to subscribe to me. In fact, I actively warn against it because I'm so strange. But thank you so much. I've had so much fun this year, and I hope that I will have just as much fun next year. But until the next year, I will see you all later.